introduce themselves. We'll spotlight them as they are introducing themselves, then we will start the program. Okay, so first I would like to introduce one of my Oga. He's smiling. So Lincoln, Lincoln, please, you know I cannot read all the things that you have. Excuse me, guys. If you unmute yourself, I'm going to put you in the waiting room because everybody has been muted now. There is peace and quietness in the house. So, but if you unmute, I'll put you in the waiting room because information that will be passing is very, very vital for everyone. So I don't want anybody to unmute themselves, please. Okay? So don't unmute yourself so that I don't put you out of the meeting. All right? Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Mr. Badejo, I cannot read all the places, all the certificates that you have. Okay, I know you have a way that you like yourself to be introduced. So, can you give us a short introduction?
Thanks so much, Mr. Decency. It's been a pleasure working with you on the various projects we've had the opportunity to work on together. I'm Lincoln Badejo. I'm here in the US. I have over 10 years IT experience. I started out pretty much as an intern. I'm going to be very real on this call so you all understand where we're going to and at least get some kind of confidence that you're going to be working with the best set of people who have the most experience in the industry. I started out, I don't know if some of you are familiar with Zoom Mobile. Back in Nigeria, that's a telecommunication company, just like MTN, Etisalat, and the like that some of you know. I did my internship with them. Moving on from there, I joined Jumia. Back then, we were called Rocket Internet. I don't know if some of you are still familiar with Jumia. Jumia is an e-commerce company. I worked with them as part of the pioneering engineers when the company started. I grew within that organization, and I was then supporting pretty much the IT infrastructure for that organization across 5 countries in West Africa before moving out to the US. And currently, I run my own business. I also work as an IT engineer and also work as an IT consultant. I have a beautiful wife and 2 beautiful kids. So I'm a family man, and I understand some of us here, we're also family people, and we try as much as possible to give our family the best, which is why we're pretty much on this call. You want to get opportunities, get knowledge, training, and get to a point whereby you can be able to provide as much as you can for those you care so much about. So that's pretty much who I am. Like I said, I'm based here in the US with quite a lot of IT experiences, but we're not going to be talking about certifications and all that. I work with quite a number of professionals. I'm not the only one, do you understand, that is functioning within the organization that some of you are going to have the opportunity to know more about. And those are the people who pretty much do most of the heavy lifting day to day. I'm going to give my friend, it's pretty much my childhood friend we've known for, Chris, that's over 25 years now, right? You're muted.
I said since we were born, since we were
exactly since we were born,
Yeah.
we're in our early 30s. We've known for
Lincoln.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like you guys to just go on, you and Chime, just go on the program. I'm right here. I'm just behind this. Guys, okay. So you can share your screen. I've given you permission to do so. Okay.
Okay. There's quite a lot of there's quite a lot of noise and echo and feedback there. Okay. So that's
Please, can you unmute yourself, Lincoln? Sorry, I just muted everyone.
Oh, okay. Let's try as much as possible to be calm. Once you join a meeting, try to go on mute. We're going to give you all the opportunity to ask questions and all that, but it's going to be very, very difficult to be able to communicate or speak if we're having so much of interference or disruption. I'm going to give my friend and brother, Jimmy Christian, the opportunity to speak. Is also a part of the organization that we represent. Jimmy Christian?
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are now.
All right. So hi, my name is Christian. That's my first name, and Chime is my surname. The way Lincoln calls it, like it's one name. Yeah, so you can call me Chris. And then we're happy to be here, like he actually introduced. I'm a cloud engineer. Basically, I'm a cloud architect, also a DevOps architect. I've been in the IT space for over 11 years now. I studied engineering. I come from an engineering background, basically. And like Lincoln said, we are here to actually interact with you guys. Maybe as we progress, you get to know us more. But I'm currently based in the Netherlands. I used to be in Nigeria. I worked in Nigeria. I worked with Microsoft. And from there, moved to South Africa, where I also work with AWS. And currently, I work with a company in the Netherlands, a semiconductor company. I also consult, and we are the ones to we're here to this evening to chat with you guys. I'm married. I have a son, and the future is bright. We started this initiative, just like you'll be hearing today, a couple of years ago. And our success story speaks for itself. And we are really hopeful that we can get some of us to join us on that journey into the tech world. And yeah, and we're hoping that we'll have that partnership going forward from here. And then hopefully it's going to be a long-term relationship. So that's me. And then I'll hand the baton back to Lincoln to take over.
Yeah, so thanks again, everyone, for joining. Big thanks to Mr. Decency again for putting this together. I got a notification this morning that today is International Women's Day for the ladies that are part of this meeting. Big shout out to you all, especially ladies in tech, for all the good stuff you all are doing. Really, really appreciate that. We just want to use this second to appreciate and celebrate you guys. Okay. Who are we, right? That's going to be the first thing that comes to the mind of most of the people here. Who are these guys? Well, what are they talking about? What do they represent, right? We're part of Coils Technologies. It's a registered company in Nigeria. Let me see if I can okay, I think this is better. Okay, so we're a registered company in Nigeria. We founded in 2020. Our major function as an organization is really around consulting, just so we can level set that. We play heavily in the consulting space, assisting organizations with cloud migration, cloud design and architecture, and also basically advice on anything around DevOps, cloud computing, and IT in general. So that's where we play heavily. Beyond that, we've also added to our services the academy piece, which is the training aspect, and that's primarily why most of you all are here. You want to get trained, hopefully, to become engineers and be able to kickstart your IT journey. These are the people behind the vision. You've met me, you've met Chime Christian, who is no longer in South Africa. He's currently in the Netherlands. We also have Samuel Obodo, who is in charge of security and training. He's based in the US with me also. And we have Ikena and Annie, who is based in Nigeria. He leads most of our product management efforts, mostly around Africa. And then we have Otnel Ibomen, who is currently in the UK. He's our IT operations leader. So that's the team. We're all IT professionals except Ikena, and we all have quite a lot of IT experience. So I'm saying this just to give you some kind of comfort or confidence that should, in case if you make a decision to be a part of what we're doing, you're going to be in the right hands, right? We're all family people, so we're not shady, right? So, and we're all very successful in our various careers. I've had multiple conversations with quite a lot of persons who are really interested in coming into the IT space. And one of the common denominator in most of those conversations is really how vast the IT space is. And they're all asking, how do we start? You understand? Where do we start? I want to jump into IT. What should be my first step? You understand? And really, if you look at the entire IT landscape, you can pretty much be anything in the IT space. But again, you're going to need someone to be able to at least guide you, walk you, and give you enough information to make the right decision. So just so you all are aware, we're not going to be making the decision for you as to what path you choose to take. We are here to educate you, provide you with enough information so that when you're making a decision, you're making a decision based on the vast amount of information that you might have. Just to bring it home, I don't know how much of IT some of you were familiar with, but I'm going to break the IT concept with something we're all familiar with, which is building. Do you understand? Or running a business. I see some really intelligent folks here, and just from the names, like quite a lot of businessmen. I think businessmen, I think they're on this call. If you're familiar with running a business, I would want to use maybe like a restaurant business as an example. The business in itself is a subset of quite a lot of other dependencies. You have things about the menu, right? You're going to pick out the various ingredients you want to use to make out your food. You're going to need caterers. You're going to need people who are going to be serving, waiters, waitresses, and all that. You're going to need a building, right? You're going to need a building to basically accommodate your product. You're also going to need maybe some level of security, right? You're going to need someone to help with security and all that. You're going to need lighting. You're also going to need at least a path. People need to be able to move from point A to point B. They should have an address for your business, and it should be accessible. So if you look at as little as that business is, there are quite a lot of areas people can play in. Someone might be responsible for the building, like building maintenance and all that. Someone else might be responsible for serving the people coming from day to day. Others might be responsible for the security of the building, right? When you get in, you have someone at the gate who might open the gate for you to get in, or someone at the door who would at least check to ensure that you're not going to endanger the people who are in the building. And you might have someone who's a business manager in that environment who's responsible for the day-to-day running of the business. You can see different role, but it's all part of one big picture. The same way in the IT space, You have people who are like engineers, right? They're responsible for the building block. Again, everything about IT is built on top of computer, so it's computing, right? So that's pretty much more like your house or the real estate. Let's put it that way, where your application or product, which in this case could be your website. Zoom, we're all on Zoom here, right? That's an application. It's sitting somewhere. It's living somewhere. The same way you might have people responsible for security. You don't just want to be able to disrupt, do you understand, the product or the application that is hosted in the cloud. Someone is manning and ensuring that there are security policies in place to mitigate or prevent attack and all that. You might also have some people that all what they're doing is just like the waitresses and waiters. They are helping with support requests. People are reporting incident, like I have a password issue. Can you reset my password? Like as little as those things are, there are quite a lot of opportunities in the entire IT landscape. Looking at the slide, some are technical support help desk persons, right? Some people are into information security, like I mentioned, they're securing and ensuring that data applications are being protected. Some people are web designers, right? They're designing the website, the front end, and all those good stuff. Some, they're just dealing with the back end. They're talking about data management, data administration, big data, and all that. Some folks are hands-on. They're into hardware repair and all that. Some are into IT health, like solutions and applications that those in the health professions are using to further better development, research, and all that. And some are in the cloud space. Some are cloud computing engineers, cloud administrators, and all that. And as an organization, why I lay this out very clearly for you all to see, as an organization, what we're really training you for is to be a cloud engineer. That's the training we really offer. We're not going to be teaching you how to screw or unscrew a PC. That's not what our organization represents. We're not going to be teaching you web development. Those are not one of the courses we currently offer. We're not going to be doing data management for the class we're enrolling for come April. We're also not going to be doing anything around IT health. It's all going to be really around cloud computing and DevOps, which is automation in the cloud. This looks really broad. That's why making a decision can be very difficult. That's why you need a mentor. That's why you need someone who can pretty much speak with you, understand your interests, your passion, and see where it's going to be the best fit for you. And in my opinion, for the course we offer, it's pretty much essential because currently IT is mostly done in the cloud. And if you don't even understand how the cloud environment is structured, how you can move around within the cloud, it might be very difficult to even start at all. Because if you're taking an IT support role, it could be to support activities or incidents in the cloud. So this is just a simple overview, and I would also beg your indulgence to take some time to do further research so that you understand when someone says IT. I've had so many conversations, and when we talk about IT, people want to be IT professionals, but they don't even know what it's even about. You understand? All what they're thinking about, oh, I just want to make money. I just want to make money. You understand? But you're going to make money only if you understand how this thing is structured and the right one for you. We're trying to address a couple of problems, obvious problems that when I mention them, some of you would be able to relate to most of the things I'm saying. The biggest of them is that everyone on this call is looking for some kind of financial, I wouldn't call it financial freedom, but at least more earning. You want to earn more. You want to be able to make more money. That's why you're on this call. You wouldn't sacrifice your 5 minutes to sit on a call if it doesn't translate to making money. So that's one of the problem most Nigerians in Nigeria and most Nigerians in the diaspora who migrated or moved to these countries without significant preparation, they're having to deal with. They can't get good paying jobs because they don't have the right skill or the right qualification to be able to secure these jobs. Secondly, I've seen people who are really, really passionate about IT, but they don't have mentorship. Just like I explained in the previous slide, it's so vast that they're having a very hard time making a decision on what path to take. Some have even taken so many training, but they're having a hard time translating the training to the primary purpose for which they even took the training, which is securing a job and making more money, as the case may be. The third other thing I've identified, which seemed to be a significant problem that people are dealing with lately, Mr. Chukwudi, if you don't mind, be able to mute yourself. Mr. Chukwudi is your colleague. Okay. Flexibility. Flexibility is another key factor or key consideration that people are bringing up in most of the conversations I'm having. They're unable to function effectively on jobs that take so much of their time and doesn't promote any work-life balance. I don't know if you understand what work-life balance is. A way where you are also working and you can also have time for your own personal life and the life of your immediate family. That's also very critical. And these are the problems we're trying to address with the solutions we're putting together. We're trying as much as possible to ensure, first and foremost, we can give you the training you need to be able to start your IT career or IT journey by first securing a job and then move yourself upward, as the case may be. We've wrapped this around a couple of strategies that we feel over time are proven to be the most effective way of getting people from point A to point B. The key is really the mentorship piece, because it's not as though this information is not out there. If you go on YouTube, you're going to see quite a lot of training resources, right? If you go on Udemy, there are courses, there's quite a lot you can take advantage of. But having someone to mentor you through the process is one thing I think is the key ingredient to make.
Mr. Lincoln, can you please unmute yourself? I just muted everyone because of the background noise.
Yeah, that person is the Techno Spark something. So if the admin can just maybe make one of us co-host or something, so we can also help unmute.
Yeah, it's very distracting to talk with this little noise. Yeah, so mentorship is extremely critical, and that's one of the strategies we've put in place to ensure people can be able to take advantage of this training. Secondly, there is no training anywhere in the world that is free. Even if you get it for free, someone is obviously paying for it. Do you understand? So payment is a critical factor, and we know making such kind of huge investments can be very, very challenging for people. That's why we've also put a strategy that would address the payment issues. At least we've made it a little bit flexible. And in some cases, we could provide some kind of scholarship. Thirdly, we have a rich alumni base. We've learned over time that people tend to learn more in a community when you see the progress and the success of others. You tend to feel very challenged. But beyond that, there is very little your teacher can offer to you. But within a community, minds and learn from others. And then lastly, we obviously provide live classes. Those who are going to join the next squad would take part in live classes, which are very, very interesting and very, very simple to understand. We're not going into live classes with complex, big terminologies and all that. We try as much as possible to make the class as simple and very, very detailed as possible so that every student who participates would be able to get value for the money. Why should you choose us? I cannot, to be candid, I can't convince you to choose us. I can only tell you what makes us different. Like I said, the flexibility in payment is a differentiating factor. Also, our classes are open for those who are beginners, meaning you don't have any IT experience and all that. With the way we teach, it's very easy for people with little or no experience to be able to at least grasp and pick up and grow from there. One-to-one mentorship. That's what we're known for. We want to try as much as possible to hold your hands, mentor you, walk with you every step of the way till you can gain some level of independence for yourself. The classes are also not too short, neither are they too long, right? Our classes run for 3 months. That's 12 weeks. And within those 12 weeks, we're giving you just enough information for you to get going. So we're not giving you too much information and then you get overwhelmed, and we're not giving you too little information that you are barely prepared at all to embark on your journey. Our network cuts across multiple countries, the UK, the US, Africa, Canada, and even as far as Australia. We have relationships that we feel hopefully can also benefit our students, which would be part of an alumni base, so you can obviously share and learn from other persons. We also provide certification at the end of the training. That's the certification from our own organization. But beyond that, for those who are interested in taking professional certifications offered by the non-cloud vendors, we can also provide that level of support and give you the opportunity to do that. Beyond the 3-month training, we also encourage continuous growth, which is aided by continuous support, because after 3 months, if you get a job, which we're hoping you would, in some cases, you don't have quite enough to keep the job. We have a team that just focuses on providing support to people who are on the job to ensure that they can have job protection and all that. And then the training is also project-based, and it's very, very informative, yet extremely simple. At this point, I'm gonna turn this over to Chime Kristen to further this conversation and give you guys some more information about our key offering, meaning what's the class you're going to be joining in April. What's that class really all about? What are you going to be learning? And just give you a little bit of information to be able to make some kind of decision. Chime Kristen, the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you very much, Lincoln. Thank you everyone again for uh, joining this evening. So, like Lincoln said, maybe I'll just take a step backward and so I can address the training, because we run as a company. What we do is we try as much as possible to take people in. We're not just interested in getting numbers. Yeah, we want to make sure that in every cohort we are able to take the right number, the right kind of people that we will be able to focus on them. Because our approach to this training is an approach that is project-based. We believe most of us, especially people coming from Africa, Nigeria, we've already been exposed to a kind of educational system where I mean, back in the university, we read and read and read and read. I remember then in my year one, year two, and one day I called my mom. I'm like, I'm just getting tired of this thing, because I was really thinking I was coming here to study engineering, and I'm just doing like, 9, 10 courses. And I know it was same for most of us. You keep reading and reading theory. No, the training is not that way. So we try to get just the right number, the right size per cohort, so that we can focus on them. The reason is, let's assume we have 1 hour, and then we have 50 people or 100 people in that class, and everybody decides to ask a question for 1 minute. So you see that it will take 2 hours where we're just answering questions. So we try to limit the number, get the right people, and make every cohort sizable. So what we do is we break them into cohorts. So the next cohort starts at the end of April. So what we are going to do with that is, once everyone joins in, like Lincoln already talked about, who is this meant for? It's basically, we try to look for people who are passionate, people who really want to change or go into tech. And again, you just need to have a basic degree from any discipline. We have trained people who come from medical background, people who come from non-technical background, and they are doing very well, excellently well. It's IT is a very noisy space. Trust me, it's a very noisy space. If you go online, you see a lot of videos, you see a lot of things out there. But what we do is we have a very focused training that helps you to become takes you from the beginner to intermediate level in cloud engineering. And then we try to tilt you to DevOps engineering. But there are a lot of other job roles that you can actually delve into from here. We're not going to go into them in this discussion, but that's our focus. That's the training. The reason is because we have done it over the years. We are players in that industry. We train you based on the current demand and what you need to know to get started in the industry, what you need to know to excel in the industry. We give you the right kind of information that in the 3 months you should be ready to start taking interviews on your own. And like Lincoln said, if you check online, I mean, it's an open space. Try to go on LinkedIn and see how much a cloud engineer earns, and it would, maybe that would be a motivation for you. But yeah, so in 3 months, that's what we're going to be offering you. But the training, even though it ends in 3 months, after that, our relationship continues. We've seen people who, at the end of the day, it's like a family. We continue, the relationship is ongoing, and we work together, do projects together. We've seen people who, after they finished the training, they went on, got their jobs, got their second jobs, and we are there with them, you know, and they are moving and they are growing in their career and making progress. So, but the 3 months is basically for the training, and after the training, we move into other things. But for this evening, what we're focusing on is the training. If you can go to the next slide, Lincoln. Yeah. So these are some of the persons. Again, this is not their real picture. We had to remove their picture, but these are people we've trained. These are people, you know, across the US, you know, Nigeria, South Africa, Portugal. Like the one in Portugal is you know, was a young man who, you know, was planning to move to Europe, just like some of you here. Maybe you're already planning to migrate or you already migrated. One of the things we are going to be very practical with you about is, you know, life outside Nigeria. I don't need to preach this, but the truth is, if you have a family, you come in as a family, it's good you have a skill, you know, and there are a lot of opportunities out there, you know, there are a lot of opportunities outside the shores of Nigeria. And even in Nigeria, there are a lot of opportunities. But if you're going outside, if you have any plans of going outside, or if you are still in Nigeria and you even get the training, there are a lot of opportunities. There are a lot of roles. Like myself, I got an offer while I was in Nigeria, you know, and that was what took me out of Nigeria. How did I come over to Europe? I got an offer, a very juicy offer, you know, to move from where I was in South Africa down to the Netherlands. So, and a lot of persons have also, you know, experienced the same thing. And you know, it's been like that for almost everybody. We have like 4 persons already who we trained who are currently in Portugal. You know, Portugal, you know, is taking a lot of people. There are a lot of IT companies for people who are interested, and they process everything for you. The only thing you just want to do is to come over. So in case you have people who are back in Nigeria, you know, you can encourage them to get a skill, and the things we train you, they are just enough for you to get a job and, you know, do well for yourself. So these are trainings for people in the US, you know, South Africa, even back in Nigeria. So there are a lot of opportunities around this. If you can go to the next slide. So yeah, coming back to that question I was actually addressing. So who is this for? So the first thing is, we believe if you have been able to finish a degree, college degree, we put it here, but, you know, basically university, we believe that you've demonstrated that you can, you know, you can dedicate yourself to something over time and then be successful in it, because that's one of the things you have proven. So we want to work with people like that. We're not just after the numbers. No, we want to see people who, again, also because if you're traveling abroad or you're already overseas, you notice that most jobs, they try to prioritize people who already have some degree. And again, because you're coming from Nigeria, I know back in Microsoft, I remember I worked with a team that was based in the US and, in Europe. Some of the guys in my team, we are not graduates. Some of them just finished high school, but they were in the US. So, but your advantage would be that at least you have some kind of degree, right? So we'd want to focus on people like that. And then whether you have little, because you may be asking, okay, what if I don't know anything about IT? I've not done anything about IT. You're more than welcome. We bring the training. We make it so practical that and again, I'm not saying this like to sound convince you. That's not that's not why I'm here. But we take people who we can show you what you need to know. Once you can learn, again, that's why we try to focus on people who have completed something. We believe, you know, being Nigerians, being Africans, we can learn a lot. You know, I talk to people and they are like, I can do anything. I always like that spirit of, you know, from us. So little or no IT experience, you're very, very much welcome. You know, individuals who are passionate about IT. So in case you started doing something for yourself, like in the current cohort we're running, we have one guy who is based here in Europe, and he's currently a tester, but he's been wanting to switch to DevOps, and then he came across somebody who went through us, and the guy was like, these people are the reason why I'm here. He actually met the person in the London, and I called me, and then I had to hand the person over to Lincoln, and he's currently in this cohort that we're training. So people who are passionate about IT, and again, individuals who want to increase their earning. Like if we have time, because we don't have a lot of time, but if you go on LinkedIn, this is not something hard fetched. Just type cloud engineering role, you're going to see what people are earning. You see what in the US, for instance, we have cloud and DevOps jobs that pay up to 140, 150, some 160, $170,000 per annum. That's what I'm talking about. And I know people who do two jobs comfortably, and they're making like imagine making over $300,000, per annum. Just in 2021, I was telling somebody I got an offer. I have a friend in London that I told him that I rejected a job of £80,000 to London. He's like, "You are mad. You are very proud." Like that I can't come down financially. And he was like, "What do you mean?" He said, "Do you know me? I'm a medical doctor. Do you know how much I earn?" He said, "I don't earn half of that." And I was like, well, that's you. But to me, I've been coming down to London for £80,000. And it's the reality of things that most of the people that go in there, they are 30,000, £40,000 per annum is a lot of money, for them. And yeah, but again, that may be okay for somebody else, but I'm not okay with that. So I know Lincoln has moved the slide away, but again, we don't try to talk about things like this. But again, in case you want money, if that's your motivation, I don't know. Again, that's not my motivation, okay? I just want to follow my passion, grow in my career, and all of that. And again, I'm not telling you I'm making that amount of money, okay? All right, so next cohort, which is what we are talking about here, it starts in April. We have just 50 seats. That's what we try to take in every cohort. Again, if you don't make it in this cohort, it's possible you can get a seat in the other one, because we already have people like who couldn't join the last one. We're already online for the next one. So you can reserve your spot for the next cohort. Again, the 35 plus hours we put in a week is the minimum you need to put in, because it's highly, like I said, you're going to do projects. It's going to be like you're in a working environment. Again, we are people in the industry. We are in the space. We are cloud architects. We are solutions architects. We are DevOps architects. So we try to bring real life, project-based scenarios, and you're going to be practicing, so at the end of that 3 months, you've not just gained knowledge, you've gained experience, and you can use it to kickstart your journey. So you need to give it more time. And yeah, so how do you get started? That's the next slide. Maybe I'll hand over to Lincoln to finish up. But first is, you're here on the platform of, we have a partnership with Decency Academy. And that's the platform we are all in this evening. So what you need to do is just reach out and indicate your interest, secure your seat by making an initial deposit. Again, we have a very flexible payment plan. And so the guy on Techno, can you just mute yourself, please? All right. So you secure your seat. with an initial deposit, just make some deposit just to make sure that you're in for the next class. And then what happens after that is we now take you through the process. You assign a mentor. We provide you with a course outline, the registration, setting up the platform. Please, the person on Techno, can you put your mic Techno KH6?
I don't know. Is this NC? Okay, that's better.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So then the orientation, it's kick starts which is going to be happening in the last week of April for that batch. And then we we're going to be in for the next 3 months working together and interacting together. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Very straightforward. It doesn't we take away the stress from you. It's just an easy process to get in and fly with us. Like Lincoln said over and over again, we are there to hold you by your hands to make sure that just like a parent, you walk a child while they are struggling, you help them walk. That's what we are here to do. Help you get started and help you make that journey until you are able to work on your own. So even when you get the job, we also are there to assist you while you get the job. Sometimes you're looking for, okay, who can I talk to? We're available. We have our own platform where we communicate. Once we onboard you, we don't remove you. So even on the job, you have problem. You have a community where you can post questions, you can ask people, you can, have a live video and say, please, I'm doing this thing in my office. I'm running into this kind of problem. Hey, can you help me? It's not just me. There are a lot of other engineers who are on that platform. So you have access to them. And yeah, that's just about that. I don't think we have any other thing. So it's a straightforward process. And yeah, thank you very much. So I hand over to Lincoln to just wrap up. And then
Yeah, I don't know if Decency is still here. But for your registration, I think Decency is going to share a link with you guys and those who are
The link
interested.
is already there on the chat session.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, do you guys have any question for us? We have just 8 more minutes and then we should call it a day. If you have a question, I think I would prefer, okay, you drop it in the meeting chat. Okay, so this is
Please, can I ask a question? Please, is it permitted?
Yes, go ahead with your question, please.
Okay, thank you. My name is Prince Kenneth. I was privileged that I joined on time and I've been following since that time. But there was a place that got me a bit confused. The place you said you really, at this point you really or purposely want to work with people that has degree, most especially. So at this point in time, does it mean that anyone that does not have degree is not permitted to continue? Yes.
That's a good question, and thanks for asking that really important question. For those without a degree, it's not as though you cannot pursue an IT career. That's not the reason for such kind of hard line we've drawn. It's really because of our business processes and policies, and like Jimmy Christian mentioned, we have very limited seats. So we're really trying to ensure that we're getting people into our classes that we feel we can offer the best to. It's not it's going to be a class of 50 persons, right? You want to at least have some kind of leveling ground so that people are not like pulling themselves backwards and all that. So that's why for our own training, we have a minimum requirement that the person should have a college degree or a university degree, or I think in some cases an ND or an HND, you understand, to be able to be a part of it. Because again, it's not a cheap training. I know we've not mentioned the price. It's not something cheap. So the last thing we want to do is have you invested in something and then you cannot translate that into immediate earning. You understand? Because most organizations, especially considering Africans, they would want to consider that college degree as a minimum requirement for employment. So to answer your question, for us, that's the baseline, but that doesn't stop you from pursuing an IT career. Just not one you might pursue with us. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Please, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead with your question, please.
Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm Mrs. Emma Glory Chidima. My question is, how does it fit in SQL, SPSS, and also Power BI? So for someone that have this kind of skill already, is there any kind of internship program your organization have for someone that have gotten some of these skills? That's my question for now.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have that opportunity for people around the business intelligence space. We're more focused around cloud engineering, cloud computing, and cloud migration. That's what our organization is specialized in. So if you're trying to do an internship with us, you're going to be doing it. We're only going to be taking interns, you understand, that have the skill or are in alignment with what we're currently doing. But that being said, I think you can also consider if you drop your name and maybe your contact information with Decency, should in case if we run it, we have our own personal network, you understand? So we can check within our network to see if anyone would be able to offer such kind of opportunity to you to further your skill. But that's a good question, and business intelligence is also a really nice career path.
Yeah, maybe to just add to that, if you really want to focus. So again, we have a community. If you're not really looking at I know this is not your question, but if you want to really be within the community, we have people in data engineering, data analysis workspace, because that's what you're already talking about, Power BI. But there are a lot of other tools out there, beyond Power BI, QuickSight, and so many other tools out there. So you can, like Lincoln said, you can get networked with other people within the community and see what you can get from that as well.
Okay, we have just
Okay.
3 more minutes.
Thank you.
Take only 2 more questions.
Can you hear me, please? Hello, can you hear me, please?
Okay, now I can hear whoever.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
My name is Fortunatus. We've been asking, I've heard you say over and over about the payment not being cheap. Okay, and I also have I had initial payments. I think that's where the crux of the matter is. So I just quickly want to ask, do you guys have a kind of financing or instrumental plan or a kind of sponsorship where I could pay part, and then when I hop in, maybe along the way, or when I get a job, I'll be able to complete the remainder of the payment. Like I had people, my friends had been sponsored to UK, and Canada based on that kind of arrangement. Even up till now, one of them is still making payment for the sponsorship. So to make it soft for most of us who are in Nigeria and who are actually like facing very tough times, you know what the exchange rate is right now.
Yeah.
So that's like for passion and for the drive and for the exposure and experience and everything, I think most of us will have it, but the constraint majorly will be on the area of payments. Okay, so if there's any plan you guys have, please let us know. That's my major concern. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much.
Hello.
Hello, sorry.
Hello.
Hi. Sorry, my name is Nike. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
go ahead.
afternoon or good evening. Sorry, I don't know. I just want to further with the last person that spoke. Please, we'll be asking for the cost of payments. Can we know the full cost together with how if there is going to be a payment plan, like he said, because we've been asking question and it's not being answered. Thank you.
Yeah, I know everyone is really interested in how much they're gonna. Sorry, someone else wants. Let me go ahead and address the question around payment. Most of our students are mostly in the US, UK, and the like, and really the financial commitment for our classes is $2,500. Where to be able to secure your seat, you have to pay $1,000. But we know, just so you all can hear me correctly, but we know that amount is something that folks in Nigeria might have a hard time paying. That's why we've also partnered with some other organization that is offering scholarship to folks who are coming from Nigeria, and then the price is being discounted to 500,000 naira. It's not as though you're not paying the $25,000, that's the $2,500, but it's been subsidized for you by someone else. So meaning there are two prices here in question. If you're in the US, you're in Europe, anywhere beyond Africa, the students are paying $2,500, that's $2,500. If you are in Nigeria, the students are paying 500,000 naira, which is at a discounted price, just to give them the opportunity to be able to join the class. To secure your seat, for those in Nigeria, they're making a commitment of 300,000 naira to secure their seat, while for those who are in the US, they're making a commitment of, in Europe, as the case may be, they're making a commitment of $1,000 to secure their seat. For those who are making full payment, they get the opportunity of getting a 10% discount of the entire payment. So I know I left it for the last because that's exactly what most of you are waiting to hear. After all the good, interesting conversation about the benefit and all the good stuff you can get out of a training like this, at the end of the day, it comes down to costs, right? Is this something that you can fund? Do you have the financial capacity to be able to offset it? Do your own personal research to see what other competitors are collecting for trainings like this. And we're more than happy to have conversations with as many who are interested and feel they want to be able to negotiate.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, I can hear you.
11. All right. Thank you.
911.
I really appreciate your
substitution method. Substitution, that was the method you had to use.
Hello, good evening. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Go ahead with your question. Unfortunately, I'm already three minutes ahead of the 1 hour scheduled for the meeting. I can take only one more question because I have another appointment.
Hello, please.
Yeah, go ahead with your question.
Hello. Okay. I am a HND holder.
Yeah.
I have a HND in public administration. I have basic knowledge of computer, but I don't know about all this cloud and all that. So,
Yeah, not a problem.
And initially, Decency told us that HND and the BS are only allowed. So now you stated about degree alone. So
but that's let me just quickly answer. Yeah, let me quickly answer your question. Once you have a college degree, so HND, ND, or you have a BSc, BSN, or just meaning meaning your highest degree is not your school certificate, O level. You understand? So if you've gone to either a polytechnic or a university, as the case may be, and you've completed like your program, then we're happy to work with you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I want to thank every single one of you for taking the time. I know we're all very busy with quite a lot of things, and you took an hour out of your busy schedule to at least listen to quite two boring people talk, because we're engineers, we're not presenters. Do you understand? So when it's time to have conversations like this, that's the most difficult part of our job. And I really want to appreciate everyone for at least your patience and just taking out the time to listen. We're going to be hoping that some of you would come on this journey with us. The link is already in the chat. If you're interested, go ahead and submit your application. Would really want to see those, vet them, and have a conversation with you to work out an intake process. I'm going to turn this over back to Decency on behalf of my team. Myself and Chime were really, really grateful. Thanks for giving us your time. Really appreciate it. Have a wonderful weekend.
Okay, everyone. The registration link is posted right there on the comment section. So if you want to register, just go click on the link and we'll receive your registration. Then we'll go from there. If you have any questions, you can send an email to us or the phone number on the flyer that you saw, and we'll be willing to attend to you. Thank you all for joining us, and have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This is Agun Dokosin, your local from Nanya. Thank you so much, Decency.
Nwagu n'onwe ya ọ takwara n'ahịhịa amaka ọjọ
Nwagu tara ahịhịa.
Nke loneliness na-agwọ m ịba. Ife mmemme gị ya like ya.
Nwagu efu ka weda Lagos dị ọkụ ya. Ọ ga-efu weda anyị.
Ọ dị ka mgbughe anya muchie ka m nọ Lagos.
Agafekwa m n'iru ọfịs gị na-agụ.
Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity.
Ife a na-eme ụka ọdụ mma, because onye nọlụ na Lagos na-enweta $5,000 every month. Kidnapping na anyị bata ya do save. Mana onye agụụ na-agụ, mana achọ ka elu ka ekuburu nwa agụ tii na boot. Ọkwụna ife anyị na-eme obodo mma.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, I do what I mean. I do who can ma. Even the good old body.
Yeah. Good evening. Good evening.
Good Dokosi.
Adam.
Onye ajụmajụ nwaanyị
ịwụrụ nwaanyị jụọ m ajụ ịwụrụ nwoke jụọ m ajụ ata gị n'oyi ịwụrụ nwaanyị
I'm a nursing father.
Then why you not school? You walk on a I'll be ending this. What you doing?
Decency online.
Decency nkawago.
Madam, end the video because
Decency because
I depend on Kakulu, whatever I had. So, to what good so you're
Dokosi. Agadi no.
Dokosi kamekera anyị ebere. Ka ya ọkara anyị ayụ ya na anyị nidikwara ayụ ya.
Adịkwara mfe. Onye ukwu na-ebe onye nta na-ebe. Onye ukwu na-ebe onye nta na-ebe.
Nwa dị ego dị involve na-achụkwa ndị Nigerians ọsọ.
Don't worry, Muna. Muna, this is Muna, this is Yaba. Muna, this is Yaba.
To jump in.
I'm going to first on to the
Hold on. Muna, this is Yaba. Muna, Ndero Nigeria, and I make here. Kaifo, I sponsor her. Okay, what are you? I would do that.
Ndị nọ ha.
Tony ndokosi.
Agụneto.
Ndị na-eche
onye lụkọ ọfụnanya.
Sorry guys, I have another meeting to jump into.
Agụ enwe m ajụjụ.
I have another meeting to jump into. I'm gonna be ending this.
Enwe m ajụjụ. Anyị nwa ndị nọ Asia country. Ke amazi m enwezi ihe a na-ekwu maka anyị.
Hello everyone. Sorry, I'm gonna end this meeting right now. Sorry, I have another meeting to jump into. Please, I have another meeting to jump into. I'll be ending this meeting right now.
Onye isi anụ ma ha Decency na ọgba ama ma ọ nọzi ebe a. Ọkụwatụrụ na anyị
Decency ọgaranya na onwe m chọ ka m jụọ ekere biko.
He's in a meeting right now, and I'm about to end this meeting also because I have another meeting to jump into.
Please, how can I speak with Decency privately, please?
No, I have a meeting to jump into. Please, sorry guys. I need to end this. I need this last
English.
Please go ahead and do your work. Go ahead. And this.
So in
Agụ ọkwa ịfụ na ajụjụ a njụrụ ndị ewepụ na atụ anyị nwa ndị na-eshi ka m na-ajụ ya ga-eme anyị na US adịghị mma.
My brother na-eshi biko butuo n'onye mara amara na nwanne ebe anyị nọ ịnọkwa Chukwu nso.
Ọsọsọ agụ onye ghọtara ihe anyị na-ekwu. Ndọkọsị ịma
mana ị na-afụgodi ndị ri ebe ahụ nwanne o nwere ndị na-achọgodo otu ha si eri ndị sọnsọ.
Nna m ọwarịa na ofu bagara asị bụ almost 100,000 ọmakwa nwere idea.
Ihe onye ga-ekwukwe ụgwa ihe ọma anya ya onye na-eshi a nwekwara mmadụ na Naịjirịa agwa ịghọta ka ihe na-achọwa ebe ga-akara anyị mma.
Ị ka nọ n'ofe nna m.
Ị ga-aghọta enweghị ike ịghọta okwu a so onye ga-aghọta ya ụgwọ ịnọ into it ma nsogbu adịghị.
Enugwu maka Tinubu dance a Tinubu dance.
Sọsọ kọntrị ma Naijiria aka mma na ihe dị ka Afghanistan